All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Roti. Tony Saptya will be joining me very, very shortly. But the Bears fall. Bears lose to the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday, October 30th in the highlighter jerseys, 29-49. Bears were down by 5 points at one point in the game. The offense was looking good, and the defense just couldn't stick together. See some people rolling in right now. Thank you for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. Instant live reaction to the Bears loss. It's tough. Another tough loss for the Chicago Bears when the offense is starting to make some strides. Justin Fields had no interceptions. Overall, just looked really good. Here comes Tony, adding him to the stream now. Tony is here. Tony is ready. Tony is disappointed in the Chicago Bears after the 29-49 loss. But Tony, as you're setting up overall, instant reaction to this Bears loss.
Well, to couple with the Bears having truly poor performance on defense and whatnot, I was moving my coffee table, which is a glass sliding door, fell right on my foot, shattered everywhere. Thankfully not cut. I'm okay, but I apologize for being late cleaning up glass off my floor. So I, don't die.
So the broken table covered more than what the Bears covered today on defense, is what you're saying.
Yes, legitimately. It hurt me just as bad too, I would argue. That instant reaction is just a pathetic performance on defense. I thought maybe we made some adjustments in the second half. They came out hot, obviously, but they just let them do whatever they wanted.
You know, Matthew coming in hot here, rough loss. Defense really let us down. I got to agree. I mean, the defense they looked horrible today. And I want to call out one guy specifically is Roquan Smith. What a bad performance today by Roquan Smith. He was doing absolutely nothing. Pulling up the stats here for you guys now, but he was non-existent, especially when it came to tackling in the backfield. Today, Roquan Smith had a total of 5 tackles. A guy that wants to make $20 million a season, you cannot be making only 5 tackles a day. And I know this is coming off him losing that emotional connection with, Robert Quinn going to the Eagles. But as a professional, you have to shake that off, and you have to be able to play football. And Roquan Smith, we needed him big time today against a very tough Dallas rushing offense, and he just couldn't get it done today. Just Tony, any reaction about Roquan Smith?
No, I agree. And I actually checked to see if he was playing probably about like halfway through the second quarter. And then, of course, or maybe it was right at the start of the third quarter. And then Dalton Schultz catches a pass right over his head. It was his area. He was supposed to be dropping and kind of, and it was a great pass, great catch. Like, I don't want to, those guys get paid too. I get that. But it just kind of set the tone for how he was playing that day, where he was a little late. He kept getting caught up in the wash. That Tony Pollard just ran him over for a touchdown as well. Like, just Dallas whooped our butts on at least their offense, our defense. But
the defense as a whole, they got smoked. Let's just go through the stats of what the Chicago Bears gave up today against the Dallas Cowboys. They gave up 442 total yards offense, 242 yards passing, 200 total yards rushing, 7.8 yards per play. It's tough. And here's the worst part about this Bears defense. They gave up 9 third down conversions out of Dallas's 11 attempts. You can't have that. It's just completely unacceptable in regards to how bad this Bears defense played against a tough Dallas offense. But the Bears played much better than this all season. They just looks like they couldn't handle the pressure. At least they played well for a minute, and then Alan Williams he stinks. I do not like Alan Williams right now. He's really on the hot seat, in my opinion, with how much young talent he has and the type. I mean, you have a defensive-minded head coach that, vouches for you. Alan Williams is just struggling right now, especially in regards to getting to the quarterback.
Yeah, and I get Robert Quinn probably makes a difference there for sure. He's an elite pass rusher. That's why the Eagles wanted him. However, it was also, we're just leaving CeeDee Lamb just wide open. No effort to really change anything and cover him. And then Tony Pollard running all over us. Tony Pollard's good. I mentioned that in the preview. Tony Pollard, no slouch at running back, but he's not
Memphis
Zeke.
kid.
He just isn't Zeke. Just tough performance. Like you said, on third down, that we've talked about. I don't know if it was in our current keys to the game for this game, but we've talked about it in the past. You got to get off the field on third down when you have the chance. The Bears finally had some long drives, gave them a break. Like they actually, obviously, it was a rough start for sure, but that just unacceptable how they played on third down.
Dallas is the second team in the last 10 years, and it's been 8 years since they've done this. Sorry, mix up of words there. But the Dallas Cowboys scored 4 touchdowns on their first 4 possessions. And, give the Bears credit. They held them for a while. And the offense was cooking up points. They were doing whatever. But the defense just could not stop the run at all today. I know that the Bears have struggled a lot with the rush offense this year. But, man, tough day for this Bears overall. We got a comment from Deerfield Joe. I wish the Bears defense could play as good in the first quarter as they do at the end of the third and fourth quarter. Come on, guys. Bears sucked at the end today. So, I mean, if you go back to other games, yes, Alan Williams has been very good at making adjustments with this defense in the second half. But I got to agree, he's got to do them sooner. I mean, this is what's killing them. And the offense is holding up their own. I mean, the Bears against the number 1 points defense scored 29 points. I'll take it. I think the offense did a fine job today, all things considered. And Justin Fields did not throw any interceptions. Want to put that out there too.
Yeah, he ended with a 120 quarterback rating, pretty good. Rushed for, I don't have the stats right up in front of me because I'm still picking glass out of my feet, but rushed for a lot. Obviously, again, they struggled. They definitely overall, like the little fumble issues. Obviously, Montgomery lost his fumble. Khalil Herbert thankfully was down and got his back. But it was just kind of sloppy, especially from the guys that we have been saying every week for 2 years, 3 years, probably was our only good bright spot, true, like dominant position. Now that quarterback's finally coming along, the receivers are a mess still, but that's a different story. It sucks that the running backs kind of hurt us today.
So I want to ask you, Tony, first, and I want everyone to throw in the comments what they would do. But how would you grade Justin Fields today? Because you talked about that fumble, and it drove me bananas that, one, no one touched him. But Fields literally could not have gotten any closer jumping over Michael Parsons. Like, I get it. Like, maybe he thought he was down. But still, as a player, just touch him. Like, literally, all he had to do was touch his helmet. Tony, I know you love to defend Justin Fields, but that's a football play right there. I don't care if you're the kicker. I don't care if you're the center. You have to touch him when he's down.
Yeah, but also know what else decided. They're on offense. He shouldn't have fumbled the ball in the first place. I get it. Like, yeah, he should have touched him for sure. But at the same time, I'd rather him jump over him and not get hurt than go full speed into him just to touch him to make sure he's down. And no one else did. I don't know. I am going to defend him here because he's a fantastic quarterback and deserves my defense.
Okay.
Whatever.
I mean, I'm going to move away from that subject. I can't believe that. No, it drives me freaking crazy that everyone's defending him. Like, no, yes, you are an NFL athlete.
He is the best quarterback that we've ever had. Touch him. Probably.
Touch him. Like, then touch him. If you're such a good quarterback, then touch him.
Yeah, it's easy to say on the replay when we're looking back at it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, whatever. That wasn't the biggest issue at the play. The biggest issue was the fact that Montgomery is just dropping the ball like a loaf of bread. Especially a guy that's pretty consistent. And that's what really stunk.
Eric's coming in saying dumb players do dumb things.
Well, he's clearly not talking about Justin Fields because Justin Fields is not a dumb player.
Fields or not.
Fields is not a dumb player.
I don't know if it was. I think it was a horrific dumb play.
You're an idiot, Eric Shipley. You're an idiot.
Whoa, okay.
Eric Shipley, you're an idiot. He's not a dumb player. He is not a dumb player. What makes him dumb? Because he didn't. He jumped over the guy instead of getting hurt. He's not a dumb player.
Because I don't know if it's in regards to Montgomery, we agree with you, Eric. Don't fumble the ball.
Yes, but I take it back if you're talking about Montgomery, and I apologize for the transgressions. If you're talking about Fields, I double down.
I literally think Tony loves Justin Fields more than he loves anything else in the world.
Yes.
It's
and I think everyone should. We're lucky to have this guy that cares so much more about the team that honestly.
Here comes Jess though. Justin probably had he did. Oh, okay. Eric said Montgomery apology accepted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I apologize, Eric. Okay. Sorry, got heated. I apologize.
Okay, but going back to Jess, I agree, Jess. Justin did have the best game of the year. No interceptions. I really think that, overall, Justin did have the best game of his. He was running everywhere. He knew when to run. There was one play where Komet was open on the sideline, but it was on the other side of the field that I think Justin could have, if if he could have made the play, especially with how good he's been doing with the sidearm throws. But overall, I mean, Justin did have I'm going to give, just to start things off, everyone in the comments right now, throw your comments in there, what you would grade Justin Fields on a F to A scale. Obviously, we all went to school. F is bad, A is good. I'm giving Justin a B-. I think that he played really well today. It was his best game. I'm also a little salty because I needed him to get one more yard to win $100. Literally anywhere. I was 20. I needed 211 and a half yards. It was just like that Denver game, Tony. But I'm going to give Justin a B-. I think that there were some plays where he could have made a different decision, but he ended up making it work. So I agree. Best game of the year. I'm going to go with a B-.
I think that's a fair grade. Again, Eric, I apologize. I misunderstood what you were saying, and you didn't deserve that. You're a wonderful.
He accepted the apology.
And I appreciate you watching. Yes, just want to make sure, as a man, got to step up here and apologize when I'm wrong. So Justin Fields, I think B- is probably fair. I'd call it a B. I actually agree with Jess. Just put in the comments there. I'd probably call it a B just because it wasn't his fault. Like, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't his fault we really lost this game. Like, yes, he still could have thrown for more yards. Yes, there was a couple underthrows. That's where it gets brought down.
But his receivers are horrible. Like, Velus Jones Jr. should have caught that one down.
Oh my gosh, that was but, and then I will say on the other hand, he did underthrow Equinemius St. Brown on that one deep ball where he beat him. So that's
was there pass interference there? Was there pass interference there a little bit?
Yeah, probably.
If it was Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, one of his wide receivers, they would have gotten the PI call.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, yes, it was an underthrow. No denial of that. But I think that I think that there was PI on that because the defender was all over St. Brown. I'm just going to go with that. Deerfield Joe's coming in saying a solid B.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like the B grade is, if anyone's going to give Justin Fields like a C or a D, would love to hear your reasoning why. And if you give him an A, like, that's just being Tony, like, overly in love with him because it wasn't a perfect day, but it was a better than average day. So I think the B range, anything in the B range is fair. Even a B+ I would give him, depending on how you're looking at the game.
Yeah, Nick, I know your boy Andy Dalton showed out today, so that's why you're really riding high on the hog here. I totally agree. B is the right call. There were definitely plays he probably could have made. We're gonna have to go back and watch the tape, see if there were open receivers, see if he missed anything. Like, that's obvious. And there were some times he kind of ran into some sacks a little bit, or ran into some pressure. The offensive line
didn't do jack
for the first half, probably, of the game.
Yeah, they didn't do
completely
jack.
Fell apart.
Yeah, they completely fell apart. So, overall, I think that, if anyone's getting an A today for the Chicago Bears, I would have to say it's the veteran linemen. Riley Reeve and Michael Schofield. There were plays where it was almost dead, and then they come up running behind, something that the younger guys need to learn over time. And they just pushed an extra 3 or 4 yards out of our running backs. There was one play specifically where Khalil Herbert was getting stuffed, and they were about to blow the whistle. And then all of a sudden, 4 Bear linemen come and push him for another 3 yards. Like, that is the veteran leadership. I would give the veterans an A today on the offensive line. Tevin Jenkins, I thought, had a good game today. Sam Mustipher, I want to open this up for a debate. I think that he did okay. I will give him a C minus 0.5. Like, he was weird. Like, you didn't hear much about him today. Nothing was really coming up the middle. It was more the tackles that were struggling today. But also, you're going against the number 1 defensive line in football. And Parsons was hurt today. It was a weird situation. But overall, Tony, like, I thought that the veteran offensive lineman did an okay job.
So giving him a C, half a minus, so like a dash, a C dash. Is that what it is?
C dash, okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I truly did, like, I'm sure we're gonna go back and it's gonna be some terrible blocking schemes or something that we maybe didn't see off the rip. At least, again, the first half. Overall, I think they did an okay job. Near the end, it was just Fields was just taking headshots. Like, it was getting real bad at the end. And so I think a C-ish is fair because it was, again, half the game. There were definitely a lot of bad plays, but I mean, progress, I guess. I don't know. We're just recycling different linemen in. That makes it hard too.
But they're all stepping in and doing a good job. I'll give them that.
That's why I'm not going to be like, it was an F. It was terrible. It's tough. They're all in tough positions. want to try to be fair. I mean, Dallas's defense is good too. You're going against Micah Parsons, and Micah Parsons didn't really make a difference until he obviously ran in that touchdown. But even that wasn't him rushing the quarterback. He put some pressure on, but I know he's playing hurt.
Oh man, we're getting an
like
A.
it.
We're getting an A for Justin Fields.
I changed my grade to A as well.
So Gambit coming in, dropped the 50-yard pass. That was a really nice pass. I agree. That was a sick down. Why did Luke Getsy stop doing that? I want to put that out there. That drove me bonkers how bad Luke Getsy was. He just kept running it in situations where they should not have been running it anymore. Like Justin's deep balls were working today. And yes, he doesn't have the wide receivers that is going to make that work. Shout out to N'Keal Harry also for getting the touchdown reception today. But like, I felt like they were not doing good with the pass. They were not thinking wise with the passing. And I know Dallas has a good passing defense, but it wasn't working against the Bears today because Justin Fields was having some nice plays overall. So Gambit coming in with the A, and Justin Fields threw the ball away when needed. I agree with that. Overall, I think the Bears could have done a lot better job with the deep ball today. That's one thing that drove me absolutely crazy about the offense.
Yeah, if I'm going to put the most offensive blame, obviously the defense is a whole different story. Offensive blame on anyone, I think Getsy may have to get it just because they got away from things that were working, but there was just a couple of those drives where they're like, oh, it's second down, time for the quadruple pass, reverse, double flea flicker pitch.
That was so dumb.
What the heck are we doing? And then it's okay, now a shovel pass. That's how we're gonna follow this one up. And then it just stalled out what was a huge momentum swing with that interception from Eddie Jackson, and that was brutal. Obviously, that wasn't when the quadruple reverse flea flicker pass was, but
let's go back.
My point.
Let's go back to that real fast. First of all, the officials called a legal forward pass, even though Pettis was behind the line still. So I think I thought there were some weird calls today. Like the officials sucked today. I want to put that out there too. The officials missed a lot of holding calls on the Dallas offensive line. They missed a ton of like that Cole Kmet holding call where Justin Fields had like a 35-yard run. There was no hold. Like Dallas was holding way worse than Cole Kmet did on that play. Also, shout out to Kmet for getting finally, for the first time in 28 games, a touchdown reception. But I think the officials were horrible today. Tony, do you think? I mean, prove it. Tell me if I'm wrong. But the officials were horrible today for the Chicago Bears.
It was a real soft call on that Kmet holding on that one Fields big run, and I'd have to look at that double. Yeah, you know what I'm going to say. That the double pass, whatever. I think, although he was behind the line, I think it was technically a forward pass to Pettis, who then threw it. I'd have to look at it again.
Yeah, wait, okay, you're right there. But Pettis still threw it. Technically, his throw went backwards because the ball just kept rolling.
Yeah, I'd have to look at it again. I didn't get to see a bunch of replays there on it. Or, I mean, I did. They showed a bunch.
But that play would have been huge. I agree with Gambit right here.
I was more just trying to figure out what the heck happened.
But it would have been a huge play. I mean, there was no one on that side of the field when Pettis threw it towards.
I think it was like one guy, but it was right away, and we had blockers out there. It was a design.
Yeah,
play.
Reef and Jenkins were both ready to take him out.
Yeah,
it was a good
little
play.
Desperate and a little forced. And again, KYP is Stacey King always says for the Bulls, know your personnel. I don't know. Dante Pettis did not look like he's ever thrown a football before.
Even though he's done that, he did that a ton when he was with the Giants.
Like, I know, and that's why I don't necessarily kind of reeling it back. I don't necessarily hate the play call. It was just poor execution.
Yeah, but the officials were horrible today for the Chicago Bears. Throw it in the comments if you think that if the Bears had good officiating. But I think the officiating for the Chicago Bears today was so favored in Dallas, and it was a little obvious at points. And also, the officials just looked slow today. Like when they were calling, he was like false start, and he'd like look around and he'd go 73. Like he was just blaming guys. So I really
he was looking up at the press box, being like, "Right, Jerry Jones, is that the call you want me to make?
Is that what you want, Jerry?" Jerry Jones. I mean, that's why I hate playing in Dallas. Like, yes. So Gambit, F officiating. I agree. If that's the grade you're saying, if you're saying F the officiating, 100%. F officiating, 100%.
Yeah, and I do agree that did not help us for sure. But the defense you can't give up 50 points.
This is the comment of the year right here. We have always had bad calls on us, though. For some reason, the NFL hates the Chicago Bears. I don't get it. Even in 2018, we were not getting calls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I made a concerted effort after the Bears Packers game this year when there was just missing false starts, whatever it was. I watched it was just another football game. I don't remember who was playing, but I was watching closely. I was like, are we biased? Which we are, obviously. But at the same time, are we just, yelling about stuff that we notice only because we're rooting for this team? And it was it was a very well officiated game, whatever it was. They were called. I didn't see any of those plays. I've tried to do that a couple times. Yeah, there's a couple, but there's something, I don't know. There is something weird that maybe it is just because I root for the team. It stands out more. I feel like I'm being personally attacked. But there's been some real questionable calls this whole year, especially that Packers game. And
oh my God, no hit. So, yeah, and Justin Fields finally got a roughing the passer call today. Just want to put
that was where I was like, oh, maybe the tide's turning. Maybe we're gonna get all the calls. We didn't, but
no, we didn't.
That was nice to see. They were literally forced to make a call finally, and actually treat him like a quarterback, which I appreciated.
So let's go into let's talk about some positives today from today's game, because there was a ton of positives. And as hard as it is to say, looking at the score, there were a ton of positives. This team was making strides. And even the announcers today were saying how the Bears have gotten better every single game that they've seen this year. So
shout out Adam Amin from, the Chicago Bulls broadcast.
He tried so hard not to be biased.
I love having him on the broadcast. It's so much better than, someone else just, oh, Dallas is so good. Just talk about us a little, man. Just talk about us. I like that.
So let's talk about the Bears rushing game today. So Khalil Herbert had 16 carries for 99 yards at 6.2 yards a carry and 1 rushing touchdown. Justin Fields had another 8-carry game for 60 yards, 7.5 yards per rush for 1 rushing touchdown. David Montgomery, 15 with 53 yards for 3.5. And then Velus Jones Jr., Gambit, I saw your comment. I'm going to put it up in a minute, but 2 rushes for 33 yards. Is Velus Jones just a running back at this point? Like, it kind of feels like it, because that's the only thing that's working for him. He drops passes. He has butterfingers. There's no doubt about it. Can't do punts. His kick returns, he went right back to the line. So he lost us a couple seconds there. So, the Bears did, though, have another 200-yard rushing game, which is pretty darn good. And they've done it 4 times this year, 3rd game in a row doing it. That's pretty darn impressive. First time since 1968 that the Bears have had 3 games in a row with over 200 rushing yards.
Yeah, Velus Jones, maybe he's just stone hands Willie Gault out there, just fast as all heck, just can't catch a pass. Yeah, we should definitely be using him in the end arounds, or like just the little screen passes. Just get him out in space. It is kind of starting to. It reminds me a little of Devin Hester when we turned him into a receiver, and Hester turned out decently well as a receiver.
Okay,
I will
receiver.
Say. But there were definitely plays where it would just hit him right in the hands, and you could tell, like, okay, this is not his natural position. Although it is for Velus, which is unfortunate because. I don't know where else you'd put him, but it's becoming a pattern. It's officially, it was like, Isaiah Smith Marset, whatever that guy's name is. It was like, okay, 1 mistake is one thing, 2 mistakes, 3 mistakes. Now it's a pattern. That's kind of, we're not going to cut him.
He's
obviously,
really
we
struggling.
Gotta believe in him, but to focus on the Bears run game, again, the positives, that again, there were a couple, the fumbles, kind of sloppy protection of the ball, but overall we were just pounding the rock. And I love that so much. We are just
but you gotta pass it. You have to pass, especially with Fields cannon. Like, now I'm defending Fields in this situation. Like, you gotta pass the ball. And it's not that the offensive line wasn't giving time again. I love that the Bears are running like crazy. They're the best rushing team in the NFL right now. As an offensive category, in a positive one, too, the Bears are number 1. There is no doubt about it. But you have to throw the ball. You have to give Justin Fields that opportunity, because that's where you're going to have big plays. And yes, Khalil Herbert had a huge run today. Justin Fields had a huge run today. Monty had a couple nice runs today. There's no doubt about it. But you have to throw the ball every now and then, or else it just feels like a high school offense.
That is true. I was speaking just kind of in general, just our success with running the football. That's kind of how I meant that.
And I agree.
Say, though, too, the Bears, if they don't go for the 2-point conversion 2 times, 3 times, they effectively scored 30+ points again. So
against the Dallas.
So again, I think unfortunately the bigger thing is that we gave up 49 points, whatever it was. That's, I think, what really, really, really killed us. Like, if we had scored 51, can you imagine if we had scored 50 points? Like, that would have been, I would have bought a Bears Super Bowl shirt. I know that they won't even probably make the playoffs, but I would have just done it. That would have been more. That would have meant more to me potentially than anything else that's ever happened in my
Tony,
life.
Tony, guess who's here? Guess who's in the comments right now? Ron, what's up, man? And he's saying we're scoring points, so I'm okay with the offense. Seems like the defense missed the play to Dallas. So.
Yes.
100%. Like, I was shocked how bad the defense was. Like, it was exciting because it was a high-scoring game, but like the Bears, like you said, could have had at least 4 more points or 2 more points if they would have done the 2 point, just an extra point.
Which I do like that they went for 2 when they did. I think those were the right situations to do it. I just want to kind of, point out that we did score a lot of points. That was the point I was making. But I do think it was right to go for 2 at those times.
But also, the Bears could add another 4 points if they would have scored on that drive where Cairo Santos got the field goal. Nothing against Cairo. I love Cairo Santos. Great kicker. No doubt about it. I love touchdowns more, though. And the Bears could have been at least at 33 points right there. Then they would have been at 35. So then it would have been 35-49. And then on top of that, Monty doesn't give up that touchdown to Michael Parsons. That's a 42-35 game. Then you got a ball game. And then there's a sense of urgency at the end. That drove me crazy. You know what? I'm going to throw this banner up right now. Bears coaching. Like, I was very disappointed with a lot of the coaching today. Luke Getsy was good at points. I'm going to give him a C minus. Like, he's about to be at a D, but he scored 29 points on the Cowboys. Matt Eberflus, I think, did a good job leading. I think he did a good job holding guys accountable and also creating the culture, especially after trading a very big locker room guy like Robert Quinn. But you also should go up to Roquan Smith and be like, you need 20 tackles this game, my guy. Like, this is your game to go absolutely off. But Alan Williams, man, I'm giving him an F. I am so mad. I am so sick of the Bears not blitzing. I'm so sick of going into zone against a quarterback like Dak Prescott. And overall, just like the urgency of this team at the end. Like, the Bears had 8 minutes and they were down. And they could have put up a score, made it interesting. Onside kick, sure. But you have a defense with ball hawks that could have gone out and got it. And then overall, I mean, any given Sunday, I mean, the Bears scored 16 unanswered points. I was just very frustrated with the coaching staff today. Tony, any thoughts on the coaching staff at all? Or
yeah, I'll do kind of the same way you kind of did that. I'll start with Getsy. C minus definitely says how I feel about the outcome of the game. If I do kind of like what Gambit said here. B feels a little high, and I'm going to go with a C plus, I think. Close to a C half plus. And here's my reasoning why. I think we were taking small steps forward. And there were some great play calls. Like, it did work, but there were a couple of those plays and decisions that he made that were just 7 steps back. So his gaffes there weren't necessarily a lot of them. They were just monumental. That was kind of what bothered me. And Alan Williams, I think what we're going to see here in the next week or two, what's going to really start to be apparent is, do we just miss the heck out of Robert Quinn on the defensive front? Was he truly that much of a difference maker? Or
that's a good point.
Because it is, I don't know, maybe it is a coincidence that we just give up 50, just get gashed on the ground. Tony Pollard was amazing in my fantasy league this week. So I think we will see. Alan Williams, I do agree. Yeah, I don't want to put all the blame on him. The players are out there, but we have to because he's in charge of it. So I think F is honestly probably fair.
So right now we're showing that we have about 25 people watching live right now. Everyone that's watching, go in the comment and put your grade right now for Luke Getsy. Let's talk about Luke Getsy right now because Gambit already gave him a B. Can't be mad with 29, especially when a fumble drive was there when we were hot, down 5 points. Okay, so I got a B from Gambit. So that's 1. Okay, I'll take that. I'm giving him a C minus. Tony, you're going with a...
Officially a C plus because he does make a good point. We scored a lot of points.
For a Dallas defense. I think that if we would have played, the Packers and with this offense that we have now, I'm going to go Getsy's putting up 40. Like, he's doing a good job.
See you in a couple weeks.
See you in a couple weeks. That's what I'm saying. I'll be on a plane back from Paris. I'm going to be watching overseas in international waters. Might do something crazy. I don't know. If they win, watch out. Okay, so here comes Ron. Ron's giving it a B. Gambit is right. Okay, that's fine. Deerfield Joe, if you're still out there, would love to just give your grade. Okay, so Getsy's getting a lot of love today. I can see that little flick to Komet was ridiculous. That was so dumb. That play, I literally stood up from my couch and looked at my balcony. I was like, how high am I right now? 6 stories? Okay, maybe it might not hurt so much if I go face first. Because that was just a dumb play. But okay. So everyone that's watching, overall the average is a B. How about this? I'll move up to a C+, so then we're kicked back into the B average for Getsy.
Wow.
Okay, so I'll move up to C+ because everyone's making some pretty good points about it.
That's the first time anyone's ever changed their mind on the internet. That's insane. This is history, everyone.
I'm still not changing my mind on the Justin Fields touch earlier. That just pissed me off. Tony, shake your head. Okay, so
I mean that's fair. It's fair.
Okay, so let's go to Matt Eberflus. Let everyone put your comments in for Matt Eberflus. I'm going to go with a C. That's all I'm going to say is C. I think that he did a good job holding the culture down, but I think that he should have gone to Alan Williams and said, like, what the heck are you doing, dummy? Go do something different, because right now what you're doing on defense is not working. Just because you lose one player, that's not an excuse. We are a team. So Ron, no one has changed their mind on the internet. Okay, so Gambit, I don't know if you're going with B with Eberflus or you're going with B with Getsy. I think you're still going with Getsy.
I think he was on Getsy for that one, yeah.
I think he's going with Getsy. So I'm going C for Eberflus. I think that he could have done a couple things different today, but it wasn't a horrible day from a coaching perspective. Tony, what are you giving Eberflus before we start giving everybody else's comments up?
Yeah, you're the head coach. You're in charge of everything. Just is what it is. Comes with the territory. You get the blame. You get the credit. Credit goes to they did well on offense. So I have to give him points there. However, he's a defensive minded coach. I know he's not in charge of calling the plays and everything. Okay, yeah. I like
Ron
that.
coming in hot.
I was gonna say C minus. I think D is fair though too, because you're in charge of getting your players ready to play the game. That's especially as a head coach who's not calling the plays. That is your biggest responsibility. And I think that's fair. I think D is fair. I'm going to go with C minus official.
Okay.
Official.
So
the defense just heavily outweighed how good the offense was.
Sounds like a C minus is the average. So Eberflus is getting a, Gambit and Ron are having a little conversation in the chat. I'll let you guys handle that one right now. But, okay, we're getting a C minus from Gambit for Eberflus. Anyone else, throw your comments up there. We love hearing from you guys. But, okay, so now let's go to Alan Williams. I'm giving Alan Williams an F, straight up. 442 yards is unacceptable. Four touchdowns given up on the first four offensive drives for Dallas is also unacceptable. And then the zone defense today was horrendous. I'm giving him an absolute D or F. I'm giving an F minus. I was pissed off today. Here comes Gambit with a Z.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, you can't get anything higher than an F when you give up 50 points. I don't care who they're playing. I don't care what your team is, like who you're playing with or who you're playing against. You can't give up 50 points. Like you said, if they stop them, even holding to a field goal on one of those first four possessions, I mean, the game obviously got out of hand at the end, but we were getting the ball back to start the second half down 11. And obviously we almost, and that was before we got the interception too. So which was the one, probably, the one good play on defense. But yeah,
here comes Ron, man.
It has to be. It has to be. Yeah.
Give him an H, as in how does he still have a job? and everyone that's tuning in, Ron is talking about Alan Williams. I agree. I think Alan Williams has to be on a hot seat right now. Your head coach who vouched for you is coming in. And also, when he was the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings back in 2013, they had one of the worst defenses in the NFL. So Eberflus, 9 years later, is giving him a shot, and he is just shooting himself in the foot. I don't know how the hell he has a job either. Okay, so Flus is getting a Matthew. Please post in the comments why Flus is getting a B+. I would love to hear. As everyone would love to hear it. I see where you're going with it, but at the same time, you lost the game, so it's hard to give him higher than a C in my opinion. But throw your comment in there. We'll talk about it. Luke Getsy getting a C. So Matthew is completely flipped from what everyone's saying. So we're all going B for Getsy. He's going C. And then we're all going C. He's going B. So Alan Williams, I think everyone can agree with. I think it's a mutual agreement in the chat right now that it is an F. Bad game for the defense. Let's go into, and Tony, I want you to kick this off for us. Top three players of the Bears today, offense and defensive side of the ball?
Ooh, offensive. I mean, It sucks because I'd love to give it to a running back, and I probably would have if it weren't for the fumble issues. Because I mean, our rushing is just incredible. It has to be Fields. I mean, that's the only. Definitely for offense and also defense, I guess, because defense was terrible too. Fields, just because he had a good game. He had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. It was really efficient. Yeah, I don't know what the exact statistic comes out to, but I think it was only 6 incompletions, 120 QBR passer rate. I think it's QBR that we use now. He's number 1. He was the player of the game. Number 2, Cairo Santos. He was just the only one that didn't make a mistake, I guess, necessarily. So, and I'm going to knock on wood again there because the more we keep saying that, the more I'm worried. And 3, I guess N'Keal Harry, because he wasn't bad also.
A good comeback, comeback story.
I'm sure I could probably give it to someone on the offensive line. I'm going to have to watch back to see exactly who dominated because it may not have been certain guys' fault that we think it is on certain plays. So I just wouldn't feel comfortable saying the wrong guy here.
So I'm not going to go with players individually. I'm going to go with one player individually, and then I'm going to go with 2 groups of guys. So my first player individually. Wow. So my first player. Okay. So, cause I make my own rules. So the first person I'm going to go with is obviously Justin Fields. I think he made great strides today. He was accurate. He made good decisions. He just overall, I thought did a great job for the Chicago Bears. My second group, I'm going to combine, again, I talked about earlier, the veterans on the offensive line. Schofield and Reef, I think, did a fantastic job today against a tough Dallas defense. Yes, Reef gave up a sack. There's no doubt about that. But coming in on short notice, coming in against a tough defense, and also kind of helping coach these guys like they're being player coaches at this point for this young offensive line. I think they did a great job in special teams as a whole. Like you said, Cairo Santos obviously is money as always, but Gill had some unreal punts today. I really like looking at this draft class of Ryan Poles. I really, really think that he did a great job besides Velus Jones Jr., as bad as that sounds. But, Kyler Gordon's doing great this year. Brisker had a play today where I kind of wanted to, I don't know if he was hurt. I don't know what was going on. He just looked slow. That one play where it was all stuffed in the backfield. Lee, I'll get to your comment in a second, man. But overall, I think that, they did a good job. Like the special teams did a great job, but Ryan Poles, I really think did a good job with this draft class. He brought in a lot of guys that that are making an impact. Kyler Gordon and Brisker are making an immediate impact. Braxton Jones is making an impact. Gill is making an impact. That's 4 of them already. So, you don't get a lot of that every single day, but those are my 3 overall. I think that 3 top groups players that did well for the Chicago Bears today. Gambit coming in here. Wow. Okay. I love Monty and we'll defend him forever, but he had his worst game today. Gambit, I see where you're going with this, man, but he did also go against a super tough front 7 for Dallas. Tony, do you have any comments off this?
I don't know if this is where Gambit's mind is at, and I apologize if I'm putting your thoughts out incorrectly. I think he's kind of right, only in the sense that Montgomery is always good. So just kind of having a really big fumble like that, I think does technically probably put it as his worst game. I'm sure there's games he's rushed for less yards or whatever it may be. And he definitely, I know we had a couple games, what was it, last year or 2 years ago, where he definitely had some butterfingers. I don't think it's the worst. I do agree, though. I will love Monty forever and also defend him forever. But that fumble just really stunk, man. That you can't be turning the ball. Yeah, and it didn't even look. I mean, I'm sitting here again on my couch saying this, but it didn't really look like it was that aggressive of a strip either. It was just a little careless, which was unfortunate.
So, Lee, I like the comment. I like where you're going with this. If I was above 6 foot, I definitely might consider it. But I did. Fun fact: I did play center when I did play football back in the day. So. Maybe you never know. Was I good? My mom says I was good. So that's about that. So that's what matters. Yes, Luminati's Gambit, 100%. Yep. We do not deserve Luminati's today. Luminati's sales always are way better after a Bears win. Vildor, okay, this is a guy that I want to just Vildor played like crap today. I also want to put that out there, and I think everyone has to agree with that too. Ron, thanks for putting this out there. Kendall Vildor just played like crap. I'll just say it. Tony, I don't think there's much more to say. He was targeted so much in the beginning of the game, just couldn't make adjustments.
Yeah, I caught him in Madden like right away when I was starting my franchise mode up with the Bears, obviously. And also traded Robert Quinn for a fourth, so I'm not going to say I predicted it, but whatever. Yeah, I agree. Vildor, he's just kind of, we've seen this over and over. That I think last year, I can't remember if it was the first or the second game, whatever it was in Lambeau against the Packers. He was just falling down every time he tried to cover Devontae Adams. It stinks. We have no one necessarily better to replace him. I know he's on the field a lot as kind of that nickel defensive back, but it's getting tough. It's getting tough to defend. It's tough to argue for him to be on the team going forward.
Ron calls him the revolving door. I agree with that.
I like it.
So,
and Gambit, I agree with you on the missed blocks. Like I said, I didn't want to put words in your mouth, so I'm happy you cleared that up. Thank you. But I think that's fair. It was, again, Monty was good, but he's always good. So today was just unfortunately one of his worst games. Yes.
And Matthew, I think that this is one of the comments of the year that we all just need to realize. We may have lost this game, but honestly, this is the best we felt about the team overall in a long time. You know, you're going back to the Eberflus comment. Thank you for clarifying. He's changing the culture of the worst parts of our team. The defense will get better. It always does. You know, it is a rebuilding year, and the Bears are better. Just imagine last year's team playing in these games. I really, really can't agree with this comment more. I think that the Bears are better. I think they're more competitive. I think the Bears are more fun to watch. But yes, even though they're losing, the Bears are 3-5. It's not like they're 1-7. Like they've won 3 games against the Patriots, against the Niners, and who else did they win against? The Texans. So it's not horrible, not great, but overall, I think
the Vikings are good,
competitive, and they're fun.
Yeah, the Vikings are good. The Cowboys, I mean, they might be the greatest team in the world without Ezekiel Elliott. We'll see, I guess. I don't know who else we've lost to, but
and Cooper Rush as your quarterback.
I'm blanking so hard. But either way, I mean, we have a tough schedule coming up, but I think arguably the worst team we have coming up, some are saying, is the Falcons. Packers.
I got the Falcons.
The Falcons just won on a walk-off Hail Mary right before we came in here. The Falcons or actually, no, it went to overtime. I didn't see who won. I
no, Panthers won.
Panthers ended up winning it overtime. Okay, Falcons tied it up. I apologize. Or no, the Panthers tied it up. Sorry, we're doing a live stream. I was very confused. Either way, the Falcons look good, and it's kind of scary. I will say, I'm more scared of the Falcons than the Packers.
That's Ryan Pace's team, by the way.
Yeah, I might be more scared of the Falcons than I am the Packers.
Are you more scared of the Lions than the Packers?
No, the Lions stink. I know they had a better game today. No, they don't have Aaron Rodgers. The Falcons are just like they're a young, fast team, and that's terrifying. And Cordell Patterson will do anything. Is he hurt? I don't know, but he'll do anything to, I think, stick it back in our faces, because that was a guy I think we should have kept around. But
how do you guys really feel about Kyler Gordon? This is a good question. I like him. Until today, I mean, he's gotten better every week, in my opinion. And he's a rookie, and he's a smaller corner. I think he's doing a great job. Tony, there's not much more to say to it. I think he's doing a great job.
Yeah, I think the raw talent is there. The raw talent is absolutely there. And like, he has shown flashes. Again, it's what, the seventh game of the year, or 8th game. So I'm not gonna say I'm out on him or anything. It has been tough. We're gonna have to see improvement. He's going to have to improve. That's just, it is what it is. He's not perfect already, or anything. But I don't know.
And I like him too. But Ron, I want draft picks too. But like overall, everyone's winning this year, so. It's like a weird scene. The Lions are going to get probably the number 1 pick again, but
I think the next couple of weeks is going to be big for kind of us deciding what we're doing.
If we're going to try to go for the playoffs or not.
Yeah, if we can rattle off a couple wins, screw it. Get some playoff experience, maybe make a couple more trades at the end of the year for draft picks. I know obviously we want a higher draft pick considering we have our own finally in the first round, but it's going to be the next couple of games. I think we'll decide that. If we lose like 3 in a row here, I mean, I pray they never win another game this year.
So let's go through this, Tony, and let's make this fun for everybody. Predicting the next 6 games. So this is going to be our last segment of the episode. So everyone tune in, make sure you're throwing your comments in.
Good comment, Ron.
Playoffs. Talk about playoffs.
Fair response.
You kidding me?
I don't know. NFC's weak this year.
Sunday. Any given Sunday. So the Bears have the Dolphins, which did the Dolphins win today?
Yeah, they ended up winning.
Okay, but they barely beat the freaking Lions, man.
Mhm.
Like they won by 4 points. So, okay, let's start with this. Tony, the next 6 games, you got the Lions. Is that a win or a loss?
Oh,
Okay,
man. It's the Lions.
no, I'd say the Dolphins.
Oh! I thought you said the next game was the Lions. I apologize. Next win. Yeah, they beat the Dolphins. Yep.
At home.
Oh wait, is
it
it in Chicago? I have to.
It's in Chicago.
Oh yeah. Oh, cold weather.
So
it might be warm actually. Yeah, win.
Okay. So Ron, I thought you didn't want to win. I thought you didn't want to win. Ron said that he's going to beat the
playoffs. Are you talking playoffs?
Playoffs? I want to go back to Ron's comment real quick that you could change your answer on the internet all the time. Okay, so I'm going with a win. I think the Bears can beat the Dolphins next week. So Bears are 4-5 after that game.
Mhm.
Lions at Bears week after.
Yeah, it's the Lions. I think they're one of the few teams we have their number, I think. And I think the Lions they needed to kind of win today, I think, to salvage.
So Bears are back to 500.
Yeah.
So
easy.
Bears are back to 500. Tony, you see the comments, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, I'm going to read, because I'm just reading the schedule over here. So the Bears are 5-5 after the next 2 weeks. Bears go on a 2-game winning streak. Bears at Falcons, November, after the Lions game. Win or loss?
I'm scared of the Falcons. I think they're going to fall apart. I think we beat the Falcons. They're the Falcons, dude. The Falcons stink. I know what I said about them before. I know Gambit doesn't agree with us on the Dolphins. He agrees with us on the Lions. Curious to what him and Ron too, and anyone else in here listening, what you guys think about the Falcons. I think they're the Falcons. It's
Ryan Pace's team. You have to beat Ryan Pace's team.
We play the Falcons well. I don't know I know Tariq Cohen got violently injured, obviously, and ended his career against the Falcons, but.
Gambit's saying a win against the Falcons.
Yep. Okay.
I'm going with that too. So we're saying that the Bears are going on a 3-game winning streak, even though their next 6 games are super tough. So the Bears are going to be 6-5 after the Falcons game. Bears at Jets week after the Falcons. I don't know, man. Jets, Jets. I really like the Jets, man. I think the Jets got the Bears numbered there. I think the Bears are going to fall 6-6 after that game.
I would have actually said the same thing until today, and they looked abysmal versus the Patriots. And Mac Jones was not good. I was watching that game because I was curious after we kind of thrashed them how they were going to respond, who they were going to go with. Mac Jones wasn't very good, and they kind of whooped their butts. It ended up a little closer than it probably had to be. I think
Cody's got the Bears on a 4-game winning streak.
Hey, man, If we're saying later in the season we play the Bills and the Eagles, those are obviously losses. Those are the most guaranteed losses of all time. These teams are similar to the Bears in the sense that we might get a showing like they had against the Patriots, and we might get today.
But this is where we have to make a decision. Do the Bears make that push? Because you have the Packers December 4th, which I think the Bears can definitely beat the Packers now. Oh, yeah. Now that they have an identity, that's an easy win. So the Bears are going to win the next 4 of 5 that we've talked about so far. So the Bears after that will be 7-6 entering December 18th against the Eagles at Chicago. I'm going to put that as a loss. That's the Bears at 7-7. That's the next 6 games. I think the Bears will be 500 after the next 6 games.
Yeah. You said the Eagles. That was the last one you just said there.
Yeah. The Eagles.
Okay. Yeah. The Eagles are a loss. I will pick them to win in the pregame. Just, 5 weeks from now, just keep that in mind. I will talk myself into it. But if I'm going to be realistic here, especially if I'm going to pick them to go on a little winning streak here, they're going to lose to the Eagles. That's just a fact. They're going to beat the Packers. Calling it.
Okay. Let's just do the rest of the season. So, after the Eagles, the Bears are 7-7. Okay. Mm-hmm. You got 3 games left. You got the Bills at Chicago. You have the Bears at Detroit. And then you have Minnesota at Chicago. If we play our cards right, so you're going to say, so we're 7-7 entering that Eagles game, 7-8 after that game. Lose to the Bills, you're 7-9. Or no, you're 7-8. 7-9, right? No, the Bear. Wait, okay, hang on. Let's go back here. Okay, math is tough for me today. Because the Bears are 3-5. You beat the Dolphins, that's 4-5. You beat the Lions, that's 5-5. You beat the Falcons, that's 6-5. You beat the Jets.
Yep.
You beat the Jets?
Yep.
Okay, so that's 7-5. You beat the Packers?
Oh, obviously.
That's 8-5. You lose to the Eagles, that's 8-6. You lose to the Bills. That's 8-7.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're in a position where you're against the Eagles and Vikings to end the season. You're sitting at 8-7. Do you get a mid-round first pick, or do you go for it all? And our prediction of 10-7 is correct.
I say you go for it all. I agree overall on the premise. Long term, you want to get draft picks, you want to build, you got to get better. We have so many holes, blah blah blah. But if we can get to that point, I want him to go for it. I want to see
Fields go for it.
I think you have to. But the big but is, are we going to go on a 4-game win streak here, 5-game win streak if we're counting the Packers too? Are we going to get to a point where those games matter? That's going to be the biggest thing. Because I think we will lose those games at the end. I think we might be able to beat the Vikings at the end. I think the Vikings are going to Vikings. That makes sense. We could have
beat, the Kirk Cousins, Vikings are going to Vikings.
The Vikings are going to Vikings, and it's going to happen.
So is Tony saying right here that the Bears are still going to win the NFC North?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We might not. Oh, maybe. I don't
think
the Vikings will still have a better record. I think
Bears are going to the playoffs, Ron. I'm sorry.
I think the Bears are going to the playoffs.
Want you guys are smoking lots of it. Absolutely. The Bears are going to the playoffs. I'm sorry. We're going on a huge winning streak, Ron. 5-game winning streak is coming up here, and then we're gonna come back to earth. We're gonna lose 2 in a row, and then we're gonna finish the season winning 2 out. Bears are 10-7. Bears get it on a wild card. Bears make it to the NFC Championship, and they play the Eagles, and the Eagles hit a double doink in Philadelphia. Bears go to the Super Bowl, and the Bears beat whoever they play.
Yep. You know what? Super Bowl, Super Bears, Super Bowl on. I know they lost.
I feel like Ron's typing right now. Like, oh my God. LSD is illegal.
That's right.
No comment, Ron. No comment. Lakeshore Drive is illegal. That's what you meant, right? No,
hey, you know what? If we can figure out just an average defense, we have to just be average and not give up 50 points. I mean, the offense is looking awesome. Justin Fields does not quit. He truly is a gamer. He just gets annihilated. Just headshots like we're playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare out here. And which I don't play for the record. I just know that that's a sick reference. But he just, and it gets up, he just pops up and he's like, man, that wasn't great, was it, guys? He jogs back and he's like ready to go right away. I love that. He has the passion. We got to improve everywhere. Our defense, though, if our defense can just be normal, just normal. Not even good, just normal.
Okay, well, we're saying that the Bears are going to the Super Bowl still. So
that's what I'm saying, at least. Screw it. Why not?
And also, by the way, the Panthers did lose today to the Falcons. So Tony's right. Okay. Well, we were here for 52 minutes, and Gambit was here the entire time. So we really appreciate you coming in. Ron, thanks for always commenting. Everyone else that tuned in, I think we had over 100 people tune in today, which is great.
Eric Shipley, I can't imagine you're still here. I apologize again for calling you an idiot. I thought you were talking about Fields.
If Eric comes in and goes, I've been recording this just to see how dumb you guys are.
If I can find him on Twitter, I'm going to send him an apology. That was aggressive.
Tony was a little hot after the game. But, I think it's just tough loss today, but a lot of improvement. The game was actually fun to watch. That's all I got to say. Bears win it all, Gambit. I agree with you. That's all I got to say.
Yep. And good final comment here as well, Ron. Just show up. Be traffic cones minimum. Don't be non-existent. Just get in the way. That's all they got. So,
well, with that, Bears lose 29-49, but the score does not talk about the game. There was a lot of improvement here, and I think you guys all see that as well. Tune into us on Twitter. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We'd love to stay in touch with you guys. But with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Justin of the Year Chicago. My name is Nick Roti, joined alongside my good friend co-host Tony Saptya, and we will see you guys next time.